So I find that very interesting because a lot of people think of trial and error, right? They're like, okay, but what is the right way? I mean, we know we're living in a digital era and everything needs to be online. I mean, no, you don't have a choice. If you're a dentist or a doctor or whoever you are, you need to be online. There has to be some sort of digital presence to make yourself relevant, right? But then you end up asking yourself, am I posting too much? Am I not posting too much? Is there such a thing as posting too much? Is my content quality? Is it relevant? Do I need to be on YouTube? Do I not? Do I need to be on Facebook? Do I not? What sort of advice would you give in terms of, is there a one size fits all in terms of your digital presence where you have to be no matter what? Or it's not necessary that you follow that route. There's a different route. You could just be on one platform, let's say, or maybe not on Instagram or not on YouTube.
I think now it's very risky to be on one platform. So this is new era of omnipresence. For example, in the earlier days, you probably heard of Friendster, right? Or Bebo, or MySpace, or Vine. Where are they now?
Exactly.
Right? And so you could say the same with Facebook now, right? Okay, Facebook, they lost like $230 billion like overnight. But if you look at all the different things that are happening right now, like you and I wouldn't have met if I was not on Instagram. Well, I wouldn't be here right now.
Correct.
Right? Half of the keynote speeches that I get when I speak all around the world would not, I would not have been noticed if I hadn't been on YouTube. So you have to have omnipresence now.
Yeah.
So
and people have like a short attention span. They don't want to sit and look for you everywhere. If they can't find you in 30 seconds, they'll probably be like, okay, whatever, let's look for the next person.
It's so interesting you say that.
Yeah.
So I was at a party. So we were at a party with all the sort of managers of all the companies, the creators, and LinkedIn was there. So I had to go into LinkedIn. I was speaking to her, and I said, so what platform do you use? LinkedIn? I said, I do. I got about 30,000 people that follow me on there. Do you use it? What's your big platform? Well, I use Clubhouse. I use Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So why don't you use Facebook as much? And then so funny. So someone came and said, oh my God, you're John Lee from Clubhouse. I recognize you. Oh, can we take a picture? We took a picture and said, let me add you. And then she said, are you on LinkedIn? So I said, okay. I said to her, watch this. So she went to LinkedIn and she typed my name in and it was like, you couldn't find me. It was like, where is it? Because the discovery is not that great. But if you go to something like, I say, okay, now open up Instagram, type in John Lee, bang, number one. You see?
So that's the thing with LinkedIn. You think that's the issue, that the fact that they didn't really work on the discovery part? Or is it because you are not on LinkedIn that you're not at the top?
No, I'm on LinkedIn. I've been using LinkedIn for over a decade.
So it should have been
it should have.
Yeah,
it should have been there, and even with a decent sized following account.
So there's the problem that most people face is their excuses, right? I mean, you give excuses for everything that you're not doing, and it's everybody else's fault except your own. I mean, I do that too sometimes. So I'm not judging people, but my point is, what is the biggest excuse you see, and what are the biggest myths that you notice people have? Like, I know one of them, and one that stuck with me when I was reading your book, is how people have like the allergy that we're talking about, but the allergy towards money, or they have a very bad relationship with money, and they think that the money is a root of all evil. And especially in our region, people don't talk about money a lot. It's almost like you flash things, but talking about money, discussing how you made so much money. I mean, sometimes people feel a bit uncomfortable doing so. Why is there such a discomfort with the topic of money, and how can you debunk that myth? That this, and along with the others that you very much hear on a day-to-day.
Well, the first thing, the money thing, comes from the bringing up of money. Like my parents said the same, like money doesn't grow on trees. And now that I think of it, literally money is literally grow on trees, right? It's paper. Now it's turning to digital, right? I was thinking, of course it does, right? But she was also saying to me that like you have to work really hard for money. And that is true. But in today's age, it's about working smarter, harder. Right, so you still have to work hard, but you can leverage. Like you can build $1 million company now with like 2 employees. It is crazy.
Because everything is also digital, and
digital,
you can outsource, even
outsourced. You don't have the cost, the overheads, and now you have global market instead of a local market. So I did a keynote here in Dubai, and I was saying to people, why do you want to make money just in Dubai? Like, don't you want to make money in UK pounds, US dollars, and spend it in dirhams?
Yeah.
Because it's like 5 times.
Yeah.
You know, and saying that, and I was in Malaysia, I said the same thing. I said, you're earning ringgits right now. And at the time, it was like £1 to 5 ringgits. I said, do you know, like the average salary, you know, there is about 5,000. So I said, all you need to do is just make a few sales in the US and UK, spend a couple of days doing that, maybe a week doing that, and just take the next 3 or 4 weeks off. And people go, they start to see.
The thing is, you end up feeling almost like you're mentally boxed. And that's what it is. Our education system, the way we grew up with our parents, making us fearful of money, save for a rainy day, get a job, don't take a risk, be careful. So you end up trekking really slow. But then you realize when you watch people like you, or if you're educating yourself elsewhere, you end up realizing it's almost like, I mean, at least for me, I felt like a fire in my gut reading both of your books, thinking, what am I doing wrong? Oh my God, I should have been doing this. I should have been doing that. And I think that's probably the purpose of why you do what you do, because you want people to feel this way. Like, think outside of what you already know, unlearn a lot of the things you were taught. And one big one that I found in your book was the fact that people don't like to spend because they're worried that I may be spending on advertising and it's unnecessary right now, or it's a cost. It's not an investment. So they don't look at spending on your education. Like, I'm gonna go and get a mentor, for instance. We'll talk about that because I think that's important. I've asked you that question. I actually asked you a few months ago. I'm like, how do you go for, this is before I checked out your website, before I read your books. That's why I keep thinking, I'm so happy I have you here, because everything I wanted to know, you pretty much do and teach. So about the mentorship, should I really pay for this course? Should I really pay for this coach? Should I pay for this ad? Not really. I don't have, I mean, I shouldn't budget for that. It's a cost.
But that's a limiting belief for people. So let's come back to, because you said something which rings so true to my heart. And this is what which is the conditioning of the people around you. So you mentioned save for a rainy day. Have you ever had your parents or people around you say you should invest for a rainy day?
Never.
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 Right? So why do we save money? A friend of mine says that cash is trash, right? Cash is trash.
Yeah.
Every year he takes all his money and he puts it into assets. Because you look at inflation, like what's happening with all the costs. I mean, look at fuel right now, right? Look at all the things that are realist, like everything, the inflation is eroding savings. So what the banks do, you give the bank all your money, right? Which is only insured, by the way, up to a certain amount. So if you've got over $1 million in there, you should really be splitting that up.
Yeah.
So you take that, and then, but the problem is they take your money and they do the investing thing with it, right? They marginalize it. You know, they'll take billions of dollars and just move up 1 or 2 pips, bang. They've made money, and they give you a massive interest, right? No, of course they don't.
They don't.
Right? They give you hardly anything.
Nothing.
Nothing. So the question is then, why are you leaving money in the bank? Right? Why do people leave money in the bank? It's a waste. It's a false sense of security. Now, let me tell you this. In 2020, we had the lockdown. And if you go and you type in Tesla share price, in 1 year, you look at the curve, go bang. Same thing with, I mean, Amazon stock was like, what, $1,500? And then it just, in that period, it just went bang.
Yep.
So if people had the education to see moves like that, I mean, of course, Amazon price is going to go up. Like, it makes, it's obvious.
Yeah.
They sell things online, right? So if people had the foresight for that,